Welcome, everyone. We are here at the studio of Finest Women in Real Estate, and today our guest is Melissa Tucci. Melissa, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Good, good. Melissa, I wanted to just let people know what your role in the community. So, for everyone, Melissa Tucci is the official real estate agent of the San Diego Padres. She is also the number one ranked real estate broker in Coldwell Banker here in California. And she's also awarded as a top producer for several magazines. And we're talking about the San Diego magazine. There is a magazine called The Century 21 double Centurion award winner. Is that correct, Melissa? Did I say that correctly?
You did. You did. The other magazines were like the real estate top producers and executive agents. So a lot of different real estate magazines as well. So thank you so much.
Okay, well, you have such an impressive record, and it's amazing what you have accomplished being in the real estate industry. How many years have you been in real estate?
Going on 20 years this year.
20 years, and you are concentrating on what city? Is it just really just San Diego?
It's actually San Diego County. So I have clients all the way from Oceanside to Chula Vista to Pacific Beach to Poway to Mira Mesa to Claremont. I mean, you name it. So I've really, over the years, familiarized myself with mostly every neighborhood in San Diego. So that way, when I have clients looking for different areas, I could help them regardless.
Okay. And you're pretty active in the community also doing all kinds of events. Can you name some of the organizations that you are involved?
Sure. So I've helped a lot. I'm really passionate about helping like Rady's Children's Center, also March of Dimes. Very much involved with the Dallas Pew Foundation, helping kids get a better place and a better environment through the YMCA, and also helping teen suicide awareness. So I have a lot of different charities and just people that I'm very passionate about helping and trying to make a difference, in the community, one day at a time.
Okay. Well, I'm sure a lot of people in the real estate industry is wondering how you're able to make it so successful and you become the official real estate agent for Padres. So do you have some sort of a secret that you can share on how you were able to make it to that level?
I mean, it's so funny because people always ask that. And honestly, the secret is hard work and dedication. You
Okay.
would think that um, that would be kind of untold, but it's being passionate about what you do. I'm not money driven, I'm goal oriented driven. I
Okay.
like end results, I like helping people. And then the money comes from that. So I think it's the mentality of that. And that really has helped me along the way of just being, helping people achieve their dreams and goals. And, that's so rewarding for me when I get an offer accepted, or when a client chooses me to list their home, or when I give keys to a buyer. It's just what makes real estate to me. So I always say, to be successful in real estate, you have to look at it as a way of life, not a
Hmm.
job, because it's very consuming if you want to be good at it, and be professional, be responsive. In this day and age with social media and the internet, people are demanding fast responses. So you
Okay.
have to respond quickly, whether it's email or text or phone. And those type of things make a big difference.
Okay. Well, I know that a lot of real estate agents struggle in terms of managing their time because some of them might have, they wanted to have personal time with their family, and some of them have other commitments too. So how do you juggle that with your own personal life and other community events that you do?
Time management. It
Okay.
really is about time management. I'm married, I have 3 children, and, I'm busy. And I always say the more you do, the more you get done. So it's all about just prioritizing your time.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I could add 10 more hours to the day, I would. And I do work a lot, and there's no secret about that. And not everyone wants to work as much as I do or as hard as I do, but I really enjoy what I do. And
Okay.
it's who I am, and it makes me a better person and a better real estate professional. And so it's just, you have to prioritize. And, once things are systematic and you've been doing it a long time, it's easier to get things done as well.
Okay. Well, a lot of people are offering different ways of time management. And for you, is there something that is more standard for people to know, or is it something that it's just applicable to you?
About 8 years ago, I hired an assistant, which was the best thing I ever did for myself.
Okay.
So I know sometimes people might not be able to do that from an affordability level, but there's still companies that might have like a virtual assistant, like have people like the busy work that you don't need to spend time on, have someone else do that you could focus more what you need to be focusing on.
Okay.
Electronic signatures. I think now everyone uses DocuSign or some form of electronic signatures. Without that, there's no way people could get as much. There's no way I could get as much done. So we're really fortunate to have such great tools in the world and society we're in. But then on the flip side, because of that, everyone expects, these immediacy answers. So
Mm-hmm.
it is a juggling act, and you just have to, find what works best for you.
Okay. So in terms of setting up goals in the real estate industry, what is your goal for this year, and how are you looking at the market right now based on all the situation that we're dealing with?
So my goal every year is just to do better than I did the year before. And it's funny because I don't sit and look and see how many sales and the volume. Like I hear it from other people, or I get that because it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to work as hard as I can regardless.
Okay.
And the numbers, I know that sounds so silly, but it's true. It works for me. The other thing is if you have true goals, write them down. They become more reality when they're written down. What's interesting is when, shelter in place first took place, everyone was kind of like, oh my goodness, I had 5 transactions canceled. People were more in a panic, but,
Mm-hmm.
slowly as the weeks went by, people realized we're still living in San Diego. It's one of the best places to live, especially if you have to stay at home. And I mean, I am extremely busy. I have over 15 properties in escrow. I mean, for a pandemic, that's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. But again, it's because I didn't just stop and halt. I reached out to past clients, not for business, but hey, how are you? Is your family okay?
Yeah.
Is everyone staying safe and healthy? And, just being there as a support system, it makes things karma, and what goes around comes around. And I just think that during hard times, just like, when we went through the foreclosure crisis and so many short sales, you just have to be a chameleon and adapt to what's being going on in the marketplace. And so
Yeah.
obviously no one's ever gone through this, and we're all going through it together. But people are still purchasing. Some people are still scared, but it's educating. The interest rates are so low. So, I'm taking advantage of just doing what I do, staying busy, still meeting clients, following the protocol that needs to be done, and, still making people's dreams happen. That's
Yeah.
what I love being a part of.
Okay. So in 20 years of providing real estate services, did you see yourself develop more in terms of your communication and how you read people?
Um, I've always been highly, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. So my whole motto and just my work ethic in general, before
Mm-hmm.
I even got into real estate was, communication is number one. So you have to, some people might not want to text all the time. Some people might only want to text. Some people might just want to email. I have clients that, are like, could you call me for 5 minutes? But I know it's going to be an hour call, versus the
Mm-hmm.
clients that are like, can't wait to get off the phone. So it's, again, this is the whole time management, because
Yeah.
if I had to call everyone, it'd be an hour a call, there's no way you could get things done. So I just try to see what people prefer. My main goal is always to have my clients feel like they're my only client. And I've had
Okay.
multiple people say that, because you don't want to be on the phone with somebody like, oh, I got to go and help someone else. No one wants to hear that. It's all about them, because
Yes.
these are big decisions. So it's really just reading people, knowing people's needs, and trying to accommodate as best as you can what works for them.
So there's a lot of really strong customer service that you provide to make sure that they feel comfortable with you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll have people, they have young kids. They'll say, could I call you after, 10 o'clock at night? Not a lot of people will say, sure, I will do that to help accommodate them, just because then it's one less thing to have to worry about the next day. They're comfortable, it's calm, and it's a good time for them to talk. So I just try to always go that extra mile for
Mm-hmm.
people, because it ends up making a really big difference.
Okay.
And again, it has to be what is good for you as an individual, but for me, I enjoy it and I'm able to make it work.
Okay. Does that include qualifying your potential clients also in terms of, how it will work for you for your real estate business?
It's funny because I typically don't turn people away. I mean, I've helped people, back when we had $50,000 transactions to, over 5 million.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm able to help them, I'll help them, whether I'm a glutton for punishment or if it's a challenge.
Okay.
Because, there's a lot of interesting different personalities, just in
Yes.
general. And I really try to help anyone with any type of personality, any type of need. And I think that's what makes me unique as well, because I really will help anyone. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I've been
Well,
told
well,
to
I want
be.
to ask you a question about that. So, have you dealt with a client that has been, very, hesitant about making decision, and it's really procrastinating a lot of the things that they wanted to do, and I'm sure that takes a lot of your time. So, how do you deal with that?
Thankfully, not everyone is like that, but
Okay.
yes. In fact, I'm just dealing with a client now that, has probably looked at over 100 properties. I've gotten them into escrow 4 separate times. They've canceled all 4 times.
Wow.
And I'm getting to the breaking point now where I mean, it's not a matter if they end up buying or not. It's, will they ever buy? And yeah, that is frustrating. And I don't have a magic answer to that. Most people would have let them go, 3 transactions ago. I think I just, want to help them. That's like my nurturing side of just, I want to see it through. And I don't want to not help them, because then it's almost my inner failure, which I don't
Yes.
like doing to myself. So, you know, that's something that I probably still could work on. And again, is it a fault or is it a positive? It depends on how you look at it. But yeah, I mean, they've taken so much of my time, obviously for no compensation. But, again, it's time management. So even though they've taken so much of my time, I've still gotten so many other things done at the same time that I'm okay with it. Obviously, if that was my only transaction, no, that's not a business model you want to do.
That's what I'm
But
thinking.
yeah, but thankfully, I mean, I do a lot of transactions, so I'm able to manage that. But no, if you're, only have a couple of clients and one of them is just taking so much of your time, you have to make that decision for yourself, and, sometimes let it go, which for me is extremely difficult. It always has been. And again, I don't know if that's a positive or negative, but it's something that I just have a hard time doing. Once I start helping someone, it's hard for me to turn anything away.
It's like you really want it to be completed more than
Yes.
anything.
Yes.
I
And
I
again,
can
it's
totally
not,
relate to that. It's like
and I think, yeah, go ahead.
it's like you have this attitude of, not quitting on anything and just making sure that it's taken care of. And I can totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. And because it's people, it's
Yes.
humans. But what's interesting is just dealing with so many different type of people. Like, so many people have so many different types of personalities, and
Hmm.
it's just amazing. I think a lot of people don't realize either, this is a very emotional industry.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with people, not just buying and selling, but so much of their personal life as well. Something happens and then, they tell you their whole story, and, then you feel bad and you want to help them even more. And so it's just, I care, like, again, it's not the monetary side of things. So I think that's what's helped me through my career, but I know it could be a hindrance if you don't, have check and balances.
Okay. Well, what about transactions that are just too complicated? I mean, how do you, I'm sure you've had those kind of transactions. I mean, did you just learn from all the years of experience how to be creatively finding some solutions for those complicated transactions?
And no transaction is too complicated. There's a solution for everything. That's always
Okay.
what I believe. So if there ever anyone says that, then I say, well, let me help your client then, because I could come up with. But no, every transaction is a learning experience. I mean, just when you think you've seen it all, something else new happens.
Okay.
But no, I always try to think creatively, think outside the box. Not panic, not have my clients feel any sort of stress. That maybe that's, I take on that stress, but you have to be confident in what you tell them, and you want them to have absolutely 100% trust in you. And
Okay.
so, people feed off of people's reaction. So if someone's, like, oh my God, this is too complicated, I can't do it, then they're going to feel panicky and unsure about everything. And absolutely not. That's not, I always tell my clients, I stay positive, number one. And especially in this time, being positive right now is so important, just because, well, what's going on with the world, people want to feel like, there's good and positivity, happening. And so, we're going to get a solution, okay, this is a road, a road stop here, but we're going to get over this bump. We're going to get over these hurdles. And so again, just taking, because there was a time I didn't have as much experience,
Mm-hmm.
and, each transaction is that experience. So I actually, I guess, again, glutton for punishment, like more complicated things, because
It's a
it challenges.
challenge, right?
Mhm. It's all about it's all about the challenge and just getting things done. That's what I thrive on.
I think what I'm seeing also, Melissa, is that you have such a strong personality that you can handle stress very well. Because a lot of people, when they're being thrown at with so many issues and problems, they get emotional too. And I think the way you're handling stress, it's very manageable for you for some reason. And I think that's because of your personality and how your character is. And I totally admire the way I'm hearing everything about you. And that's the reason why I think you are in that level of success, because of all the things that you've just shared with us. It's the person of how you develop your skills, your talent, and the way you communicate with people, and the way you manage your time, and the way you handle stress. I mean, those are some of the few things that people are having trouble with when they are in the real estate industry.
Right. I will say, if I ever am, I hate the word stress, because I don't think I'm stressed, but I guess sometimes, when you can't like move your shoulder, that means you're stressed. I'm just kidding. I never let my clients know if there's ever any sort of negativity or stress or anything that would make them feel uncertain about the transaction. So, not that I'm taking on this whole burden for them, but there's no reason to tell your clients, oh no, this is horrible. You could be thinking something, but again,
Yes.
that's where the solution oriented mindset is, there's always a solution. There's always, a rainbow at the end of a storm. You know, there's always that bright light. And I truly believe that. And it really ends up taking over your attitude. It's all about
Yes.
attitude. So I totally agree with you. And so that's where sometimes, it has nothing to do with real
So you're
estate.
almost like a savior for most people that are, having all kinds of issues with their own property. If they're facing some sort of a short sale or foreclosure, you're coming in and giving them some solutions. Am I right?
Absolutely. It's all about giving solutions, giving answers, and giving an end result, not saying, I don't know, because I have to
Yeah.
know because that's my job to know.
Have you ever thought about training other real estate agents or doing a seminar about what you do and how you do it?
I mean, I've talked at some different seminars and panels, and I've had actually agents ask. I just, it's one of those things where I'm really good at kind of working alone more
Okay.
so. So I don't know if I would be able to do that. But I mean, never say never. Sometimes it's interesting because you could tell people exactly what to do, but then
Uh-huh.
they still don't do it. Right? Have you seen
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Because I think
So
it's hard for people to function the way you function because you're different from them. It
right.
is Melissa. Melissa is unique, and everybody else is the same way.
That's interesting. That's a definite, I mean, it's that's why it's just there's no magic solution,
Yeah.
but I think if people could change their mindset or their attitude, sometimes that could help them tremendously.
Yeah. I mean, just from what you just shared in this video interview, your perspective in terms of how you run your business is all about mindset, from what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. And, and it's a very, very strong mindset to where people have to find a way to even get close to that kind of thinking. So in order for them to be successful in real estate, and that's what I find in real estate, that it is a very challenging career. And the people that are going in there has to have a very strong knowledge, a good foundation of who they are in order for them to deal with so many different types of people.
Right.
And
I
also
agree.
trying to find the solutions for all the complicated transactions. You have to be smart and creative at the same time.
Well, like I said, that's what I like about it is that it's, there's no same day every day. So
Yeah.
it's, there's so many positives. But it is, some days are very stressful, and sometimes you do have to take on a lot of people's baggage. But it's part of it, and it's the reason why I love it. And
Yeah.
I think you really do have to love it to be good at it, and really have a passion for helping people.
Yep, that has a lot to do with it too. Now, in terms of your team, I'm sure you have people that you trust and that they are doing the right things for you in order to be successful with your transactions. So how do you qualify the people that you work with?
So I actually don't have a big team.
Okay.
I for 7 years I had just an assistant, and my assistant helped with my transaction coordinating, which
Okay.
was pretty crazy because there's a lot happening. But I do have an assistant that has multiple years of experience, and then I do have a separate transaction coordinator that helps with the transactions. But that's it. I think
Wow.
for a lot of people, they would still have a buyer coordinator, a listing coordinator, like all of these different things. But when I meet with people, I always tell them, you're going to deal with me directly. I negotiate all my own contracts. I handle everything. Any questions I handle. And
Okay.
again, that's a lot for people to take on. But I am, in case you didn't notice, a little A personality. So I kind of
Yes.
like that. I kind of like that because then I know what's going on. But
Hmm.
like my assistant, if I'm not able to show a property, she'll help show it. But
Okay.
I would make the offer. She'll pick up a lockbox. She'll drop off, flyers. But when it comes down to dealing directly with my clients, I'm the only one that deals with them, and I like it that way because then they are not being bounced around to different people, and they're getting the direct answers and the direct communication that they need to feel confident in the transaction.
Wow. That very, very impressive on how you do everything in real estate. And I truly admire your work ethics and your style of business. You have such an incredible, successful process. And, it's good for people to listen to this video. At least they can get some, few good things for them to apply in their own business. But Melissa, I truly appreciate you. I am thankful that you also participated in our Finest Women in Real Estate TV show, because you have several episodes with us that I still push it out there. And I hope people will watch that, because we do have it in Roku channel under Building Solid Foundations. And I still watch some of your episodes and listen to some of the information you shared with us. And so I thank you so much for that.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks for having me.
Yes. So anyway, I'm going to let everyone know, whoever is watching this video, please do share it to others, because there's a lot of good information for them. And make sure that you subscribe on our YouTube channel account. And hopefully, if you need to reach out to Melissa, how can they get hold of you if they wanted to work with you?
They're welcome to call, text, or email me. So my website's melissatucci.com. And my phone number and all my email information is on there. So really easy. And it's Tucci. So it's Gucci with a T. I always tell that, so then everyone knows how to spell it. And happy to answer any questions anytime.
Okay. Any last thoughts for the people that are watching?
I would just say, if there's something that you're really passionate about doing, don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. And if you're not successful at it immediately, that's okay. It sometimes could take someone 5-10 years. So, just go in, have a positive attitude, and anything that you could do makes a difference. And I truly believe that.
Wow. Well, there you go, my friends. I mean, thank you so much, Melissa. This is an amazing interview, and I'm very, very grateful for it. And for all of you, have an amazing week. And don't forget to watch all our future episodes, and make sure that you check also our TV show in Roku under Building Solid Foundation. All right. Well, thank you very much. Bye, Melissa, and have an amazing day.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Yes, anytime. You take care.